Complaints tonight in a food truck fiasco, first exposed by the I-Team in February. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joel Brown.
And I'm Anna Laurel. The Troubleshooter warned you then about Nic Baliva. He promised to build food trucks, took tens of thousands of dollars for it, but only made business owners hungry for answers. After our first investigation, Baliva told Diane Wilson he was out of business, but soon even more victims connected with us. Diane, what's going on?
You know, Anna, we've gotten steady complaints about Baliva since our first story aired. More local victims, and some from far away. Turns out he's moved and opened his fourth different food truck company. New name, similar situation.
It's not painted or wrapped.
Elizabeth Carr can't believe what Nic Baliva didn't do to her food truck.
Did he do anything good for you?
No. A lot of heartache and time wasted. I mean, the whole purpose of bringing up here was so we could get on the road quicker. And, you know, with his guarantee of 10 days.
But 10 days and a $5,800 deposit came and went with little to show.
The only thing he actually accomplished was he did put some aluminum on the ceiling.
Baliva kept emailing promises that his premier food trucks company would finish the job, but...
And it's pretty much in worse shape.
Sounds familiar to another business owner who emailed us all the way from California.
It's so tiny.
That's where Sabrina Grillo is still stuck, running her pinup girl coffee out of a trailer.
I wanted something self-contained.
So she paid Premier Food Trucks, who also claimed to have a shop in Nevada, a $16,000 deposit to retrofit her truck.
Nic was very charming and knowledgeable and had a lot of ideas and was, got back to us right away.
But when she and her partner later went to finally meet Baliva and see their truck,
we were about half an hour outside of Reno, which is about a 4-hour drive for us. And he emailed and said he wouldn't be there.
When it came time for their next meeting with Baliva,
we got there and the shop was completely empty except for our truck.
They did some digging, and it was then they found my story online.
I've worked so hard, and you think you're getting somewhere, and it really pulled the rug out from underneath me.
I signed it before I gave it to him.
Closer to home, another victim, Charlotte food truck entrepreneur Philip Weber.
I don't want anyone else to face what we're facing.
Philip paid Nic Baliva nearly $14,000 to get his Jive Turkey Legs business going.
He made all those empty promises.
After multiple delays and lost opportunities for revenue, he finally drove to the Premier Food Trucks location in Chapel Hill and demanded Baliva hold up his end of the bargain.
Okay, I'm going to give you this loaner truck. It's 90% done. All it needs is your equipment on it.
This is a truck Baliva loaned him.
I became concerned when I began to walk around the truck, and there's this huge logo on the side that said chicken and biscuits.
Philip says Nic told him not to worry about it, so he took the loaner back to Charlotte, but decided to call the number on the truck just to make sure it was okay.
And I said, Nic Baliva at Premier Food Trucks gave me this truck as a loaner truck. And he said he's a friend of yours. Is that so? No, he's not our friend. He's had our truck for a year and a half and $15,000, and we can't get it.
Philip gave the food truck back to the rightful owners and got online.
So I Googled his name and I saw your story. And when I saw your story, my heart sunk.
Armed with evidence from these new complaints, I again tried to get Nic Baliva to meet with me and explain himself. He agreed, but then canceled. Instead, he reached out to Philip so he could make things right and get back some equipment from that loaner truck. Philip invited us along, much to Nic's chagrin. Baliva asked for me to hold my questions until he was done loading all of the equipment in his SUV. I agreed to wait until he was done, but then this happened. Oh, no, Nic, wait. Come on. Seriously, Nic, you're not even going to stay around after all that. Just like that, he was gone. But not before trading Philip that equipment he was loading for a cashier's check for over $10,000, which Philip cashed immediately.
I feel somewhat whole, somewhat better, that he didn't totally get away with what he was doing. I hope the same for other people who are victims of Nic Baliva, that they receive some type of restitution for what's been done to them. There's a lot of people out there, and they deserve the same.
The propane tank, all the
But
gas,
others are still picking up the pieces.
just the destruction.
Elizabeth did find a nice note from Baliva inside her unfinished food truck.
He just deeply apologizes for everything.
He also left her a check for $3,500. But when she got to the bank, she says Baliva put a stop on it.
All right, so despite the first check being no good, Baliva just met with Elizabeth again and gave her a second check for $3,500. This one was good. Baliva also gave her some of the equipment she paid him for, so good news for Elizabeth as she is back to whole. But others, they are not so lucky. Sabrina in San Francisco is still out her $16,000 deposit. And let's not forget about the victims from my original story. Get an update on that. Plus, I'm still hearing from more victims of Baliva's, including a local elementary school PTA. Head to abc11.com. Just click on the Troubleshooter link for all of that information. But
I tell you what.
I know, one of those situations where you're like, okay, when are you going to stop?
Yeah. This story makes you angry. These folks had high hopes, paid this guy high dollar, and many of them getting nothing in return.
Yeah.
Troubleshooter, thank you. If you have a consumer complaint or need the Troubleshooter to get involved, send an email to troubleshooter@abc11.com, or you can reach out on Twitter at dwilsonabc11. She's also on Facebook. Troubleshooter, Diane Wilson, WTVD.